sit in a part of town that's pretty industrial, you start to welcome the industrial noises. It feels like you can catch a ride with people, feel what they're up to. And oddly, though, San Antonio is one of those places where hard rock is hard. You don't necessarily hear it at 7:30. At lunchtime, we hear every car from the various businesses around us, and they're good people. Very hardworking. And that's when they'll blast the music. I enjoy that. It helps me plug into what they're doing to make it from minute to minute. And that's all we're trying to achieve here. If you want to slow it down, think of this as a reaction to mortality, and spend every morning realizing what a gift it is to be here. I don't have any timers going. There are a lot of apps. I prefer the Insight Timer app, which you can use to track your meditations. You just have to have kind of a ninjutsu attitude in terms of avoiding all the open your mind in 5-session courses that are offered there. It used to be Insight Timer was literally a dude in his parents' basement who just found a way for people to chat after they had been sitting at the same time together. I used it for several years. It has developed, it has matured, but it's never forgotten its original subscribers. At least I've never felt like they've forgotten my experience. But if you create an account on Insight Timer, then you can join us. And all that is for me to be able to see who has been sitting with us today. At some point I'll have enough YouTube programming that be able to do these live. But in the meantime, I wanted you to have one. So if there's a chance you could sit with me today, I would be grateful. When I'm working with beginners, or people who haven't meditated for a while, or people who just had a bad teacher along the way, and that's most of us, try just to return to the breath. And the way to get yourself through a first meditation session is to go ahead and keep your eyes closed to the degree that your trust allows. And when you breathe in deeply, as though not that you are going to jump off a pier and swim as far as you could, but treasure your breath. Hold on to it. Let it envelop you, and then breathe out. And as you breathe out, I want you to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 is pretty easy to get to. So what I want to do is breathe in 3 or 4 times and get a general working average of where I'm coming from today. That's 12 on the in breath, so if you keep going, breathe in and out. just start to count on your in-breath. How much are you taking in? Again, not, but more. I get to about 10 in general. And when you discover that kind of moving average, go ahead and keep that moving average as your goal. I will breathe into a count of 10. And then when you breathe out, add 1 to your count. So if I breathe in 10, I will breathe out 11. Breathe in 10, breathe out 11. And this is known as a count plus 1. It's very useful for beginners, because the beginner who approaches and says, my mind is wandering everywhere, I can't learn this because my mind is too off kilter. Yeah, that's everybody. Literally nobody else is different. Sometimes we think we're different, but the truth is, you can call it monkey mind, as many other meditators do, or you can call it just sitting with your mind's craziness. Just sit with it, accept it. This is where you're going. Only when you catch yourself going too far away from where you are right now on the cushion, on the zafu, bring it back to the count. Just bring it back to the count. And after years and years of teaching people this way, we realize grown-ass men can forget how to count to 6. Women who can juggle several different spheres beautifully in their life, as a mother, as a parent, in general, as a spouse, as a partner, as someone who has their own career. Women who have got so many balls in the air. I may be being joined by someone. So many balls in the air, can't count to 6, can't count to 10. And believe it or not, if you get through a meditation session having done the count plus 1 accurately, even a couple of times, that's enough for today, because it's the going back that contains meditation. It's not a particular mental habit. It's not smoothing out the ripples on your mind. That comes later, and it's far more pleasant, and it's far easier than you can possibly know right now. But the way to get there is to teach yourself that coming back to the count is the goal of meditation. It's not keeping your mind still. It's when you've noticed it's not still, you bring it back. And we'll do this for a couple of minutes. Let's see what the time is. Good, good. I catch myself counting to 13 and hurrying my breath. That's just my ego wanting to show off what a good meditator I am. Please forgive it. sure if this camera picks it up, but we are fairly close to the flight path into San Antonio International Airport. And depending on the weather, we'll get a lot of small plane traffic in the sky. So I think it's lovely. It's nice to hear these small planes. And most of the other planes are Southwest Airlines coming in. Those 737s. And I don't know if you can mark this in the camera, but hearing the sign company across the street, their forklifts beeping a warning on going backwards. There's so much construction in San Antonio and the north side of town lately. This is where most of the signs come from, right across the street. The warning signs, the closing of lanes, all from American Signal right across the street. And next door I have a stone dealership. They're wonderful. Their manager has bought cars from me before. And I've found cars for him. A lot of these very hardworking men just need something daily that'll come in every day when they turn the key. They don't want or need anything else. If they won the lottery, they'd put getting themselves a car pretty far down on the list. There's too many other people they're taking care of. And I love it, which is why when I have people bring over cars for basic repairs, they'll sometimes have a look and say, is that for sale? I bring it to the client. Is you mind taking an offer? And then the foundation gets a small slice of it. Certainly not as much as the work that we do, but I am proudest when one of my man-brain clients can be the difference between someone having a car that works and someone wondering how long their current vehicle is going to stay alive. I have talked quite a bit. A product from Kool-Aid that has 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. I find it lands between tastes. Probably won't buy them again. What we do drink very often here is, it's basically the Mexican version of those carbonless soft drinks for kids to retain electrolytes. It's Mexican Gatorade, I guess you could call it, or something like that. Very tasty. Usually fresa is the flavor we get by the case. There is an exact term for what that is in American grocery stores, but I can't recall it. Go back to the breath. 6, 7, 12, 13, 13. What do you do with your hands, you wonder? Take your dominant hand. For me, I'm a left-hander. and let it cradle your non-dominant hand. And then let them just sit next to the dantian, just below your belly button. And let it rest there. After you've done this a few dozen times, you'll realize that you have little impulses during meditation to move in a thoughtful or composed way. Something that allows you to feel like you're moving with the same intention that you're breathing. It's actually quite a bit of silliness, but don't fight it. Go ahead and feel like a ninja from the movies. Go ahead and feel like the strength you're discovering in your breathing is a superpower, because it is, and it can be. I will show you other hand positions, especially when you discover what it is that is occupying your mind when you're sitting alone with it. Falling asleep is a wonderful thing during this time, but it's not meditation. Planning your day is a wonderful thing to discover that you're doing when you're sitting. It is not meditation. But hey, enjoy the time. I know some people, some of my women clients, who literally report this is the only time they get to themselves before they begin helping everyone else in their family with their objectives for the day. You can get worn out that way. Everyone knows this. It's not new information. But give yourself this 20 minutes to have a different experience. And when you sit with it long enough, you will discover you're meditating. So, in our meditation focus, in our class, we are not so much interested in filling your head with a lot of techniques on how to meditate, so much as breathing or just pushing away those things that are standing between you and meditation. Your sense of urgency to get things done. The notion I'm wasting time, I'm falling behind. Maybe you can hear the Carolina wren outside the window. It's a little late for him. He starts about 6. I'm going to open my eyes, check the time. Wonderful. Return to the breath, and let's count out the last few. I am so blessed that you sat with me today. I will be here again tomorrow at 7:30.